Hello and welcome my friends to this week's episode of Lionel's Devil May Cry Peak of Combat, making questionable decisions yet again. As we all know, there have been a rumor that there is a particular gacha game having a very special collaboration with a very beloved franchise which we are all very familiar with. Have you all heard of this game called Punishing Grey Raven and Devil May Cry 5? Collabs are usually bad, right? Hot damn, this mashup is an absolute love letter to all Devil May Cry fans and a big middle finger to this game called Peak of Combat. The amount of effort they put into Dante and Vergil to replicate them as much as possible from DMC 5 really puts Peak of Combat into a cone of shame. If you haven't picked up Punishing Grey Raven, please do, because this round is a comparison of Vergil's motivated judgment card between both games. I know a lot of new players are complaining how tough it is to do 4 perfect judgment cards in Peak of Combat. Wait till you do it in DMC 5 and Punishing Grey Raven. This makes it look tame compared to those two. Anyway, the collab has been out for 2 weeks with discounted gacha for the Spada brothers. Now there is still time to try and get as much black cards in the game to get them both. While I have happily gotten both to SSS and slowly having fun with comboing them. Nebulajoy, you guys have lots to do to catch up, man. That provides a closer experience to DMC without the DMC in its title. Let's do a quick recap from my very first video on how to do perfect judgment cards with the very first super hunter, Endless Judgement Vergil. To start it off, you will need to charge up his focus bar first, so he will be motivated to perform the judgment cards. Once it is up, hold the attack button for a second and wait for Yamato to flash. Once it flashes, release the attack button and immediately tap and hold again for a second. Rinse and repeat. You just need to practice the tempo of holding and releasing to get all 4 judgment cards. If you want an easier timing, like every Devil May Cry game, double jump and practice the judgment cards. Judgment cards on the ground has a slightly different timing between each activation, with the timing between the first and second to be slightly longer compared to the remaining activations. So once you get the timing right, it won't be an issue. You think this is tough? Ha! Wait till you see what the hell is up next. At Punishing Grey Raven, you don't need what focus bar nonsense. You go straight into throwing motivated cards at those pitiful fools. The basics of activating judgment card is the same, holding the attack button for about a second and releasing. But wait, there is more. There is a bar to take note of before you release your attack button. Once the bar in the bottom screen flashes, immediately release the attack button and immediately tap and hold the attack button again. Sounds so easy, but did you see the window of error to release and activate the judgment card? Just a split second later and you are no longer motivated. This is very similar to DMC 5 where the window of error is almost 0. For the jumping judgment card activation, the timing for all intervals are about the same, so it isn't really that tough. On the ground, all 4 intervals are different. God damn it, why? The first interval is the longest, followed by the third. The second and fourth interval has about the same timing. Sometimes I feel like the developers are out to mess with your brains. But with a character coming from Capcom with its stupidly tight timing in their Street Fighter series, I am actually not surprised. And yes, I also play Street Fighter, which has a stricter input timing compared to Iron Saga vs, which I also played. So you think Peak of Combat's judgment card is tough? So how is it, my friends? Still finding Peak of Combat's judgment card to be difficult to execute? It is heavily based on tempo, so just practice on timing and tempo because the window of error is immensely huge for Endless Judgment to execute all 4 judgment cards. You can just practice on air judgment cards since it is way easier, and who cares if you do it in the air or on the ground. For Punishing Grey Raven, you will need to have your own personal focus bar, as you'll be focusing on that stupid bar in the bottom middle screen to be motivated with the judgment cards. Once you're late by a split second, it is gone. And all you can find are lots of videos on Spada Brothers combo on YouTube for Punishing Grey Raven. It makes Peak of Combat system look like an MMO. Thank you all for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more nonsense coming your way. No Cavalier Dante yet? Too bad. There is only so much we can do with the recycle hunters coming back to the banner. From a monthly release to every 2 months for a hunter, I seriously have no idea what in the world they are doing. But anyway, till next time my friends, happy hunting and game on!